You are 22 years old and the blue light of the monitor is the only sun you've seen in 4 days. The office smells like cold brew and ambition and something chemical underneath, the permanent scent of people burning themselves into something the machine can use. You don't smell it yet. You're too busy being grateful. The badge around your neck has a yellow border. Everyone can see it. Some people smile at you the way people smile at things that don't know what's coming. The snacks are free. The coffee is free. The shuttle, the gym, the rooftop yoga at sunrise, all of it, free. And in the valley, when everything is free, it means they've already decided what you're worth. They're just waiting for you to agree. You agree. Immediately. Completely. You code until 2 a.m. Then 3. Then time stops being a line and becomes a texture, something you move through without measuring. This is the first debt. You don't recognize it as debt. You call it passion. 12 months later, the yellow border is gone. You have a blue badge now, a salary that makes your parents cry on the phone, and a desk in an open office where the keyboards never stop. You have learned the first unwritten law of the valley. Rest is a confession. The person next to you doesn't rest. The person next to them doesn't rest. So you don't rest. Your manager says you are exceptional. You need this to be true, because the rent on your 400 square foot apartment costs more than your parents' mortgage, and exceptional is the only math that makes sense. Then one morning a desk is empty. Someone who showed you where the good coffee was, funny, bright, someone who stayed late because they loved the work, simply gone. No goodbye. No explanation. Just a cleared desk and a cancelled calendar invite. You ask someone. They say, performance. Then they go back to their screen. You go back to yours. This is the second debt. You don't call it debt. You call it focus. By year 3 you have stopped counting hours entirely. Your stock options have vested. The first tranche, a golden thread woven through your chest, thin but impossible to cut. You are shipping features used by hundreds of millions of people. Somewhere a teenager refreshes your app 17 times before breakfast. Somewhere an old man has replaced his newspaper with the notification feed your team designed. You do not think about them. They are users. Users are metrics. Metrics are the only language the machine speaks without an accent. Then the meeting happens. A small room. A calm voice. The goal: increase daily active users. The method: friction. Psychological texture. Make the app harder to put down. Your colleague explains the dopamine mechanics the way a chemist explains a formula. Clean, bloodless, obvious. You raise a concern. It lands in the room like a stone dropped into deep water. Your manager smiles. We'll document your feedback. The feature ships. Numbers go up. There is cake in the kitchen. You eat a piece. It tastes exactly like nothing. This is the third debt, the first one paid in something that isn't time. In the valley, failure is a lesson, but success is a prison. You understand this now in your body, not just your mind. In the tension behind your eyes at 11 p.m. In the way your shoulders rise when Slack sends a notification after midnight. Your name is on patents now. On architecture documents. On an org chart in a box that has smaller boxes beneath it. Those smaller boxes have people inside them. And the machine needs the numbers to move, and the numbers require decisions, and the decisions require names. And one night your manager delivers 2 words with the flat efficiency of someone who has said them many times before: identify 2. You sit with this for 1 night. 1 night is the standard grieving period in the valley. You submit the names. Because the alternative is your own name. Because the golden thread pulls tight when you imagine leaving. This is the 4th debt, and for the first time, you are paying it with someone else's cost. You build systems now. Not just code, systems. Decisions that ripple outward and touch people you will never meet, shape behaviors you will never observe directly. Your calendar is a mosaic of 30-minute blocks. Your doctor mentions cortisol levels. You reschedule the follow-up twice. At a company all hands, the CEO, a figure of almost mythological distance, mentions your team's work. The room applauds. You feel something. But it isn't joy. It's relief. And relief is what joy becomes when fear has been the baseline long enough. Your oldest friend visits. Over dinner they say, gently, "You seem tired." You say, "It's just intense right now." Right now has been 4 years. You both know this. Neither of you says it. They give you 20 people. You remember being one of 20. You remember the manager who submitted names without blinking. You tell yourself you will be different. And you are, for exactly one performance cycle. Then the quarters come. The metrics demand feeding. And you learn the final translation the machine requires of you. Turn human lives into numbers without losing your expression. You become fluent. This is not a compliment. Each vesting date is a link in a chain you can now see clearly. You could not see it at level 1. You would not have believed it. The chain is not restraining you. It is simply the only thing holding you up. The office they give you has glass walls. You can see everything from here. Everyone can see you. This is not a privilege. It is surveillance wearing the costume of status. Your neighbors are founders and VCs. Your parents visit and go quiet in a way that makes you feel both proud and specifically alone. Your body is keeping a ledger you haven't reviewed in years. The jaw. The sleep. A low-grade anxiety that lives just below the sternum like the permanent hum of a server room. Constant, sourceless, and completely load-bearing. You are, by every external measure, the definition of success. You cannot remember the last time you felt like yourself. It ends on a Tuesday. Not with a firing. Not with a scandal. You leave voluntarily. That's what the LinkedIn post will say. The one you'll spend 40 minutes calibrating between humble and triumphant. Because even in departure the performance must continue. But before the post, there is a moment. The sun does something particular with the light. The calendar is quiet. Slack is still. And in that silence you hear something you haven't heard in a very long time. Yourself. And the voice is tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. It is asking questions you buried under sprints and roadmaps and vesting schedules. When did the work become everything? When did the weekends disappear? When did you last feel something that wasn't stress, or the hollow satisfaction of a metric moving upward? They will call what happened to you burnout. They will say you didn't scale. They will conduct a post-mortem with the same efficiency they used for every other system failure, extract the lessons, and move on by the next sprint. But you know the truth now. The machine didn't break you. It completed you, took everything you gave willingly, waited patiently for more, and received that too, until the person who walked in at 22 with wide eyes and a yellow badge existed only in the architecture you left behind. You close the laptop. The blue light dies. And in the dark, for the first time in 15 years, you begin to count the debts. The time. The relationships. The version of yourself that believed this was worth it. You count them carefully. None of them can be repaid.